What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Last week I brought you the 1990 coupe project that we brought in from Facebook Marketplace. It was an old project of somebody that had pretty much stopped working on it. And in that video right here, we showed you the structural part of the car, went under the car and checked all the areas of concern that could possibly be with rust in Ohio. One thing we didn't show you is what the car actually came with. So in today's video, we're actually gonna be pulling some parts and we're gonna show you some of the stuff that we got, some of the stuff we're gonna use, some of the stuff we're not gonna use, and what's the plans for the coupe. So if you guys are curious to check out what we got going on in the car, some of the parts that it came with, some of the stuff we may or may not use, stick around. Let's get wrenching. So first things first is we started already wrenching on it. We got to take this like a brand new radiator with a dual fan in it. And I think it's actually hooked up to the Holley harness that's in the car. But as you can see here, we got a set of Flowtech aluminum heads that came with the car, which this motor's rebuilt. It's a forged bottom end. And we're about to find out. We're going to pull this motor out, put it on the stand, and then we'll decide what we're going to do with it later. There's a lot of good parts here. Came with some rockers. Got some nice shorty headers going on here. Like I said, aluminum heads, probably got a camshaft in it. He said it was a forged bottom end. I'm not really, like I said, necessarily concerned about the engine. What we're gonna do here right now is we're gonna go underneath the car, check out what transmission, clutch assembly, and drive shafts in it. And we're actually gonna pull that first because Cousin Paul's gonna get in the car and get the handle out.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Again, so if you guys didn't get a chance to check out the other video, we actually went underneath the car in the other video, and what we got here is a Z-Spec. I don't know if you guys can see the tag right here. It shows 1352 249, and you can see the 7003Z tag. That's basically a Cobra Z-Spec. So we're gonna go ahead and take this transmission swap out because the turbo and horsepower that we're gonna be running with this car definitely will break that thing in half. Like I said, some of these parts aren't gonna be used. I got a whole, I might modify this tank to use a fuel system. As you can see, the car actually has, PTF E lines, it looks like, I don't know. But we'll get into that later on. First things first, we gotta get this transmission swap out, get this exhaust down. Just looks like some SLP mufflers, some stuff we'll use on another car, maybe even Cousin Paul's, we don't know. We'll figure it out, so stay tuned. Let's get the wrenches.
Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now.
We're pulling some of the T5 pieces out. Looks in pretty good condition. We'll set it over here and then we'll continue working on some of the parts. We're pretty much at the point now that we're going to, like I said, get this trans out and, keep peeling back some layers and see what it looks inside. I mean, looks like it's probably a ram clutch. We'll check that out. You guys want to see what gear ratio's in here? Come, Paul, get a marker. Let's figure it out. So you guys seen me do this trick before, don't mind the light, is we're going to determine what gear ratio is in it. So I'm going to take a paint marker. I'll make a mark right here on the wheel since it's just a pony. Make a mark right here in the diff, make a mark right here. I'm gonna count the revolutions. So make sure both tires are spinning. Here we go. This mark has to be at 6 o'clock when we're done. So 1, 2, there's 3, 27, 355s. It's got a 355 rear axle in it, because if you look here, my mark is still at the 6 o'clock position when I came back around. So pretty nice. 3.5 revolutions, 355 gears. So now we technically don't have to actually take the diff cover off. We know what gear ratio is in it. Real quick, while we're checking the gears, we're gonna see if this actually has aftermarket axles in it. It doesn't have C-clip eliminators because these are the old factory bolt. Cousin Paul's popping the pony cap and stock. Looks like it's just a stock axle because most, if not all, aftermarket axles have some sort of iteration here of like it'd be Strange or Mosier or Alloy or whoever. So be honest with you, this may be a damn brand new unit. Look at that. There's not a lot of wear on here. Look how new this all looks clean. I mean, this is like shifted pretty good though. Real tight. Is there any end play in it? There's like no end play at all. Like I know it's on the jack lift here, but wow. It's like a brand new unit, man. That's awesome. One thing we did notice, the throwout bearing literally fell out. And when you're putting a T5 swap in, you got to have the bearing behind the clips here. So what had happened was it wasn't locked into the clips areas. This bracket here is for us. It's supposed to clip behind these clips, and it wasn't there. It just fell down. It was kind of crazy. It's a nice clutch for short ram, brand new. Doesn't really have any wear in at all, wear in marks. I'm not sure which one it is. It might be the power grip, but you can see the ram sticker there. Probably just the HDX. All right, so we did some pretty quick work here. Got the T5 swap out, figured out what gears we had. Had a little bit of an issue in the back. Like I said, this motor was full of antifreeze and the oil, and we had, this is exactly the reason why we go through this stuff. So we're gonna get the motor mounts loose, which I think we've already got loose here. I think this motor is pretty much ready to pull. Kind of some really cool parts on the motor too, but there's some things we have to disconnect still. We're gonna go up top, bring the car down, grab the radiator, grab the motor, put it on the stand over here, and then we'll talk afterwards on, you know, what the plan is at this point. So. So we got the engine on the stand. Cousin Paul's taking the stand back. I think what we're gonna do in this video before we finish it is we're gonna go ahead and pop the oil pan off just to see what it looks like underneath, see if it's actually a forged bottom end. But yeah, this is definitely a car that's been in a little bit of a tweak accident. That frame rail's bent a little bit this way, and you can definitely see the core support seen better days. This car, you know, right here is a telltale sign right here. This is all bent up. So what I might end up doing with this car, and one of the main reasons why we had to take all this stuff out, probably cut the core support off and tubular the front to lighten the car up and to give it more strength. And obviously we're going to probably go with an AGEK member or possibly UPR or somebody. But you got to get it to this form. I got to take everything out to be able to put all the reinforcements in it. That's the plans for it, really, to get the tubular front on it, lighten it up, get the cage in it, subframes, torque boxes, anti-roll bar, get the car kind of set up, fix the cowl panel. I'm not even worried about paint right now. Car's solid. I'm happy with it. It's going to be great content here for the channel. And then we'll talk about paint and the theme of the car, and we're going to name the car. But most likely this car is going to see one of our big motors and most likely one of our big transmissions, and we're going to continue to be stick shift. So you got to stick around for later videos for that. But, you know, let's get this out and get this pan off. I want to be able to show you guys underneath of this. All right, so we took the oil pan off for you. You guys see the little time lapse. Definitely some cool parts in this motor. Got a Flowtech set of aluminum head, new water pump. This is a trick flow balancer. This is a really nice balancer. I actually use these on my 363 and my 410. So I definitely have something going on here. I'm gonna go ahead and flip it over, Cousin Paul is, and we're gonna check it out. All right, so we have a set of DSS pistons in here. Definitely a forged piston. There's some markings. Piston mark in there looks like it's a EA720-4030 DSS piston. So it's definitely a 30 over, because it doesn't look like the block was clearanced for the rod bolts, like 347 or whatever. So looks pretty good. Got a M68, so it's a non-high volume pump. Definitely had to take this block apart to actually at least check it. All right, guys, that's pretty much all I got for you. Definitely a brand new block. Guys, if you enjoy this sort of content, you know, stick around for what we plan on doing with the coupe and its transition. This is going to be on an accelerated build this year for sure. We're not going to be taking any time with it. And I've always wanted to build a coupe, so here it is, ready to build. Guys, I appreciate you watching the channel. If you're new to the channel, consider joining the channel. Hit that thumbs up. Leave me a comment below and let me know what you guys think. You know, want to donate back to the channel. We do have a club membership here on the channel. Hit the join button below. Outside of that, I just appreciate you watching. Me and Cousin Paul will just keep wrenching on these Fox bodies. We'll see you soon in the next video.